Okay, so we are here right now because Sherry and I, as you guys have figured out by now, we like working together and we talk a lot throughout the day about our experiences. And today we talked about some experiences that we had that we thought we wanted to share with you. Now, we were both scheduled to kind of go out and have our own little happy hour, but we thought that maybe we should have happy hour together. So I'm Dr. Leslie Pasco, the lifestyle dentist, and I have here with me Sherry Jolly, who is the owner of Dental Support Essentials, who is a dental insurance billing company. So the knowledge in her brain, what she knows and what she experiences dealing with dental insurance, she gets all the background stuff. And that's what our little happy hour conversation is going to be about tonight. Is that right, Sherry? Because you had some insurance experiences today, and so did I,
Oh,
that we just thought that we just wanted to say cheers to. Is that right?
yes. Cheers to the I can't believe it.
Yes.
There you go.
I can't believe it. That's right. So I know you called me with this outrageous story about what happened with dental insurance today. So
Yes.
you start.
I mean, just again, I can't believe the ridiculousness of it. And the other thing is, when I mentioned it to other billers, they'd all heard of it before. So this is not the first time that it's happened. But I was working with an insurance company, an insurance claim that was underpaid. It was a claim for a crown and a buildup, and the insurance company applied the alternative benefit clause, and they applied the alternative benefit as an amalgam filling. The alternative benefit to the crown was an amalgam filling, and I looked to see if there was not proper documentation or anything like that, and the biller had actually put a nice narrative on there that said that there was a 3-surface amalgam filling that had broken, there was decay underneath, it had attached x-rays, had done everything correctly, and the insurance company changed the code to a 2-surface amalgam filling. And
Okay, so basically what you're saying is, so let's just set this straight right now because that's what happy hour is about. Is that right? Let's
that's
just,
right. Yeah.
nothing reserved. What the insurance company is saying is the dentist doesn't know what they're doing,
Right.
but we do.
Hmm.
What the insurance company does. And you couldn't possibly treat a 3-surface amalgam with a crown and a buildup. You have to treat a 3-surface amalgam, which is a silver filling, with a 2-surface new filling. Does that make any sense to you? I mean, you're not a doctor, I know that, Sherry, but
I didn't think it made any sense. And when I spoke to them, I asked, they said they had a consultant review it. And I said, is this consultant a licensed dentist? And they said, yes. And I said, can I have their name and their license number? And they said, no. But I'm going to get it because I'm calling back.
yeah. But
But
doesn't it seem that, okay, now, Sherry, I've gone through dental school. I
yes,
have 8 years, technically 8 years, but 7 years because I finished early, right? So I'm one of those overachievers. But 8 years of school, I would think at that point, plus 23 years of experience in the field, that if I feel a tooth needs a crown over a patch job, so to speak, that I should be one to make that call. But it seems like to me that it's the insurance company who says they should be making the call. And it's some dentist or consultant or whatever making the call based on not even seeing or talking or
yeah,
looking at the patient.
just reading
Isn't
the,
that's illegal, isn't it?
well, they reviewed the x-ray supposedly and the notes. But I just have a question, Dr. Leslie. If someone you cared about went to a dentist who actually did a 2-surface patch job instead of a crown on a tooth like I described, what would you call that?
Malpractice.
Mm-hmm.
And knowing what I know as a dentist, I'd be marching in that office saying, why would you do something like this? Because if you have a 3-surface silver filling and you're taking out 2 out of the 3 surfaces to replace just 2 out of 3 surfaces, what if there's something underneath that third surface? What if there's
Right.
something else there that you need to address? Like, you never just take out part of it. You always got to take out all of it to see what's going on. That's just
So
medicine.
they're either financially incentivizing the patient to go to a dentist who would commit malpractice, or they're
Oh,
financially incentivizing the dentist to commit malpractice.
that's right. Well, and that dentist or consultant or whoever they are that's putting, I assume it's a dentist, geez, I hope it is, that they're putting their license on the line technically by diagnosing from afar, and that's not possible.
Well, so the continuation of my outrage as I was thinking about this is
You were outraged when you
I
called me.
was. I've been hyper about it for a while. But the thing that I'm sitting here thinking is we have governing bodies for something like that, and you would be addressing and confronting a dentist who did something like that to your loved one.
Yeah,
And why would we not then confront that dentist and submit a complaint to the dental board that their license is held with, or the Department of Insurance? Like, these are the things. I work with insurance all the time. I work with dentists all the time. One of the things I say all the time, and dentists roll their eyes at me, is you'll hire a lawyer for your contract, for your lease, for your business, for everything else. You don't hire a lawyer for the contract that dictates how you get paid. And if you do negotiate your insurance participation contract, it's only fees. It's never something like this, alternative benefits. It's never any of those types of things.
you know, I think it is, Sherry. I think because we trust, just like the patient does, that the insurance company is going to do right by us and do right by the patient, because after all, they're the same qualifications level that we are. So I think we trust that. So we just very willingly sign our name to this contract without considering anything out of the ordinary. And I think also too that there aren't a lot of attorneys who would take on the insurance companies, because the attorneys aren't as powerful as the insurance companies. The insurance companies are their own entity. They're their own world. They're their own universe.
That's
They
true.
can just fly through and do whatever they want.
Well, but the thing is, we have to stand up in some way. There's a couple of things. One, the doctor is not educated in the fact that the alternative benefit clause can actually not just downgrade materials, but maybe downgrade a service. And you partially agreed to that. I still think this is malpractice and they can't make you do it.
That's
But
right.
but the other thing is that we need to educate patients who are buying these plans. You know, for years and years, if you sit down, you talk to the patients, like you've talked to me about this, and we've talked to dentists before. When you educate a patient on what getting good dental care means to their overall health, then they're an educated patient. They make educated decisions, and they make good decisions about their health.
Yeah, most of the time they do.
Right. Well, why aren't we, first of all, educating the front desk? Because nobody is. Well, I am. I'm on a mission to do it.
You are.
But we also need to be educating the patients before they buy. Before they buy a plan, they need to ask a couple of questions. And when they get those sales reps who stutter and don't know what they're talking about, then they need to ask some more questions. And until we get our patients to become informed buyers of plans, we're going to continue to see these outrageous, ridiculous things. And the last most annoying part of it is the patient was mad at the office because she had a bill.
Yeah, you have to tell everybody what she said.
Well, she said that if first of all, she wouldn't have done it if she'd known her insurance wouldn't cover it, and she thought it was stealing from her. And I just thought, in my mind, I'm sitting there going, who's stealing from who? Because you pay a premium to get health care, and your plan doesn't cover this health care, and we did work and we didn't get paid, so somebody's stealing, but it isn't us because we are not getting paid.
Hallelujah. Cheers, Sherry. Cheers.
There you go. I just can't even imagine. But the patient truly is mad, and she's mad at the person that sent her a bill, not at the person who didn't pay the bill.
Well, and this is triple fold here to a certain degree, because what you had mentioned was, why is no one educating the patients? And it's perfectly designed that way because we're too busy trying to do 3 crowns to every one. Because if we got paid what we were supposed to get paid as a dentist for 1 single crown, we wouldn't have to do 3. So patients are complaining because they're not getting the personal, individualized attention that they feel they deserve, but that's because they're subscribing to these plans that pay the dentist a third sometimes, if we're lucky, half of what we should be getting paid to provide that service. Now, people can look at it and say, oh, dentists make a lot of money and all this stuff. When you're getting paid a third of what you should be getting paid, you don't have a lot of room for profit. There's very little profit in that.
Right.
So dentists aren't getting paid what they should. So there's that. So we're too busy trying to figure out how to run our schedule and how to handle all these things. We don't have time to actually look at what you were just talking about in educating the patient. So in the front office, staff is too busy. Like I have seen, and I know you because I know what you do, I have seen front office staff or even like people in your organization on the phone with an hour.
Yeah.
For an hour with the insurance company.
Yeah, we actually have to plan to go through the schedule 2 days before you see the patient to make sure we have enough time to get all the right insurance information before you see them so that we're ready when they walk in. And of course, you know, the heartburn of the moment is when the patient walks in and go, here's my new card from my new insurance company. I want to sit in the chair in 20 seconds. And then
I want to be fast about it, and I want to know exactly what my insurance is going to cover. Yeah, I hear you.
And the patient doesn't know that that's the issue, but we have to start. The insurance company pays us, so they don't care as much when we complain, but they sure as heck care about the people who write their checks. So we have to start getting in their ears if we're going to make a difference. I mean, I don't think insurance is going away, and there aren't a lot of people who, if they sat down and saw the facts, would say, oh, well, you know, I'm going to keep paying for a premium on a plan that doesn't cover anything. They're going to say, you're taking this money out of my paycheck every week. Then I want real coverage. I want actual basic health care out of this coverage.
Well, the insurance companies are still ran the same way that they were, you know, 30 years ago. Yep. 30 years ago, things were very different. There's a lot of dental offices that are ran the same way as they were 30 years ago, but it doesn't work. That's why the dentist is burned out, stressed out, you know, they're just blown out of their mind because they just can't handle it, because you can't operate off methods that are 30 years old. The insurance companies are doing this every single day, and the people who are being bamboozled is not just the dentist, but more importantly, the patient.
Right. It's amazing. And if there's anything I want at least the front office to get out of this is the patient needs to learn who to be mad at. When we talk to the patient, and if you're an in-network provider, it is not your portion is this, it is your insurance company has determined your portion is this. You know, you need to make sure that when you're an in-network provider, that when there's a cost, you say your insurance company decided that you owe it. You need to start saying it like that, because they need to put it in their mind. Your insurance company estimated, but they didn't do it, and now they're saying it's your responsibility.
And I think, Sherry, too, what you said was really important, because I think that we can't back down. So when we get something that's denied, we do have to fight for it. And I realize that we don't get paid to fight for it. And our profit gets, you know, eaten into even more than that. But I believe that when something like that comes up, when someone with no authority whatsoever tells someone who's treating a patient what to do from afar based on no clinical evidence that they have other than maybe a one-dimensional object like an x-ray, I believe firmly with every ounce of my being that we should fight against that. And the right reports should be written to the right individuals to expose what's going on.
Exactly. We can't just everyday business, oh, they downgraded a crown to an amalgam filling. That should be a complaint. And just so you know who you're supposed to send the complaint to, the state dental board, but also every state has a Department of Insurance. And you can go to the Department of Insurance and file a either provider complaint or consumer complaint. And I know in the state of Ohio, because I do most of my work here, they have, when they break down the provider complaints, there's a timely payment complaint and a credentialing complaint. Yes, credentialing complaints.
Look, see, that's why I love talking to you, because I just learn something new every single moment.
Yeah, they actually have a whole category for credentialing complaints. So for all of you doctors who are annoyed and stressing out your office manager about that credentialing, the Department of Insurance has a whole category of insurance companies that don't credential like they're supposed to.
Why are we supposed to credential every year? What changes so much in a year? Like, there's all this freaking paperwork.
You know what? It's it
I
has
don't
to.
know, Sherry, but it's the insurance credentialing. There's a process that takes several hours to actually go through a process to get yourself to be credentialed to have a credit card machine now. Every year, I don't know if you know that.
Well, they've done some new legislation.
You can't even take care of your patients.
Well, right. They've done some new legislation, and it was intended for insurance companies to keep their records together and be better at their record keeping. And what the insurance companies turned around and said, okay, we're going to send a questionnaire out every quarter.
Yeah,
and then
just do it for verifying benefits and
yeah,
fighting because they're not paying things. They're giving all the work to us while they're making all the cash.
Yeah, exactly. They're turning it in. So, maybe we send them a bill. I don't know. Maybe.
What do you think would happen if we sent? I'd be curious who else is out there that thinks that we should start billing the insurance company for the work that we do.
Honestly, I know you can bill an administrative fee to your patient. I would like to see how, you'd probably just like a missed appointment fee where they have to sign the paperwork acknowledging it. But I would love to put in I don't know how well it would go over, but in my angry mind right now, I'm sitting here thinking, when my insurance company doesn't provide detailed breakdown of benefits online and I have to require more than a 5-minute phone call, then I'm going to be charged $2 an hour.
Well, we should, but you know what? I don't want to charge that to the patient, but I get what you're saying, but we should charge it somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at what a qualified front desk person gets paid, it depends on the area, and you break it down to, if they're on the phone for an hour, that could be anywhere from a $15 to $40.
Yeah, it really could be. Yeah.
I mean, and people don't calculate that in, so they look at it like, oh, I did a crown prep and I made X amount of dollars, but you didn't really, because you didn't look at it all that went into it.
I know it's kind of one of those things where we have to start taking a stand. We have to be careful and when I say be careful how we take a stand, what I mean is we have to educate our patients. Like, we're taking a stand, your insurance company determined. That's the stand. Your insurance company said. So call them. That's your plan. That type of thing. And then when they have to start dealing with their insurance companies, then we will start hearing about healthcare reform, and we'll start hearing about insurance reform.
Yeah, that's right. Hallelujah, sister. You and I always have these brilliant ideas and these brilliant moves and motions that we want to set forth. But I think the truth really is that we need people to support us in order to do that. And I know it's a scary thing, but I think that we are only strong when we're in numbers. And I think the more numbers that we get, the better we are. And I don't think the numbers is just the dentist and the dental office staff. I think that if we have our public, our patients standing behind us, that would make the world of difference. So I challenge you out there, dentists. I know, Sherry and I do this on a regular basis, but dentists, you guys out there, I challenge you to start educating and developing your patients' intellect on what is actually really going on in the dental insurance industry today. So if you want to see a change, you have to be the change, right, Sherry?
That's right. And it is open enrollment. The phone, your front office does get phone calls every year at this time asking advice on what plan to buy. And you need to know that that's happening, and you need to have a plan for answers. And it shouldn't be the insurance company whose website is easiest to use. Because you know whose website's easiest to use? Oh. Delta Dental and United Concordia.
Yeah, and those are the worst paying ones.
I know, but
of course they're easy to use.
Yeah, exactly. So, but if you're an insurance coordinator and you're just thinking about ease of use, you're going to tell them to go there.
Yeah, which those types of dental insurances, those are the ones that in most cases doctors are paying the patients to be there.
Yeah, I know, exactly. That's why you have to know about this and have this plan.
Yeah, and then we wonder why doctors are stressed out, they're burned out, they're fed up, they want to go open up a chicken farm. I've heard it, trust me.
Chicken
You
farm?
know, chicken farm, yeah, I've heard it. Chicken farm, cupcake shops, I've heard that from dentists too. Oh, I don't want to do dentistry anymore, I just want to open up a cupcake shop. I get it, I get it. You know, it would be fun. It would be fun.
Well, maybe not a chicken farm, but I could eat some cupcakes.
Good too, especially after happy hour, right, Sherry?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it was awesome chatting with you as usual and us brainstorming like we do. So I think we should go have a real happy hour now.
Yes, go have a happy hour. Good night.
Okay, good night. See you, Sherry.